Hello and welcome to Trojans Live. Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, and AA Aaron Ausmus, the head strength conditioning coach, a man who has certainly had to adapt a lot in 2020 and get this team prepared. And the changes just keep on coming as you have to begin training camp later this week. AA, where would you say the team is a few days away from camp than they would be in a normal year, a few days away from camp?
The biggest thing, the guys have been here and they've been training. That's the number one thing that's been great. Obviously, there's been 1,000 curveballs since March of getting them to this point where there's, we were hopeful for a season. So the guys had faith in it. We're training. And then, of course, in August, we find out there's no season. So then we had to try to start recapturing on, what are we going to train for? So, I think the core of our team stayed around and just thought it was the right thing to do to train. So that was the main thing that, our guys have been here training. So I'd say the biggest thing is just the dates pushed back 2 more months. Normally we start camp around, October or August 4th. Now it's October 4th or 5th, and it's just pushed back 2 more months. So, the level of guys, here and doing the training has been pretty much the same. It's just 2-month delay.
Coach, I know how you hold the sacred ground of the weight room and that hollowed area of Heritage Hall there so special to you. What has it been like to have to kind of change that area up, and what kind of changes have you made to the weight room to kind of live in this COVID-19 era?
Well, like I said, I mentioned earlier, we've had tons of curveballs. We were at one point we had to train outside, under these tents on the turf with the O-line. That's the O-line playground over there, and we took over it and we put 24 tents up, and we had a barbell and some kettlebells. We had some bumper plates. We had a couple things to help us with some legs, but we had to kind of make do with
penitentiary style.
Yeah, and we didn't have a rack, and so we're missing the bulk of we weren't really able to squat. The only squat we could do is if you cleaned it and then you could front squat it. We're doing, standing overhead press, barbell bent over rows, cleans and snatches off the turf. I think we got good training in. Was it the best situation? Absolutely not. We had to do what we had to do for those 2 months. But, we finally got back in the facility about 3 weeks ago. And luckily, that's been a huge blessing. Number one, to get out of the sunshine. We've had a lot of heat in LA this year, kind of way more than I ever remember. So a lot of those days outside, man, we had to sometimes ice down the bars.
Those 1 o'clock groups were miserable.
Yeah. We had to ice down
the
the bars.
6 a.m. You got to get to the 6 a.m. lifts.
Yeah. The 6 a.m. used to be the dreaded lift, and it was the one everybody wanted because it was cool in the morning. So, yeah, the afternoons were crazy. We were trying to keep the bars in the shade, and then we'd have to ice them down sometimes because some of them would get peaked. The sun would get them, and you couldn't even touch them. And it was crazy, some things we had to do. And, to keep the guys healthy and safe, we had to do a lot of precautions, tons of cleaning, and just to get back in the weight room, to be back in air conditioning, to lift weights and have a rack. It's like sometimes you forget how good you have it until it's taken all away, and it's been great to get back. I know some of the old linemen who really love to lift, first thing they came in, they weighed in, they went over and they were kissing the rack like how I've missed you, because when it's taken away. So.
Yeah, you're a guy, since I've known you, you believe in no whining, no excuses, no complaining. How important is that mantra and that mentality in 2020 when as you described, you've seen a lot of curveballs, there's probably more coming.
Yeah, it's been, it's kind of been a curse, just people in general. I've seen people, how people have handled this coming back. You see how it's affected. We were away from our players from pretty much March 12th to about basically the 4th of July. So just to see guys come back and then see their demeanor and thinks, they're looking around like, this is different. There's all these new precautions. There's testing and screening, so all these things. So it took a few days, or I'd say a couple of weeks, for guys to kind of start feeling their vibe again and how to train in this situation. So yeah, it's been. It's just been adjusting on the fly. And like I said, we started in the weight room, then we're outside for a couple months. Now we're back in. So it's been, I feel like we've never had just any consistency. And that's been, again, it's kind of kept us on our toes.
We're here with head strength coach Aaron Ausmus. Coach, every year there seems to be a couple guys that, make big gains during the offseason and kind of pop off the screen who really didn't hear about before. Could you give us any insights, some names you're waiting to see come out in the field that maybe some of the Trojan fans don't know about?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I think our young receivers, the guys like Drake London, a guy like him who's now got some more time in the weight room. This past summer, he's come, I think, a long way. He went into basketball, which, kind of set him back. We were training hard during that period, so he was in basketball at that time. So he kind of came back in the summer and had to play a lot of catch up. And he's just a very mature guy that's done a great job. Over on the offensive line, Lim Douglas, we call him Meatball now. I mean, this dude's.
Oh, I'm a fan favorite.
This guy's about 319 pounds. He looked like he could, eat 4 Subway sandwiches at any moment. He's gotten so strong. He did a routine over the whole COVID period. We were interacting daily with a program that I personally put him on, that because of what he had a certain rack and he could do certain lifts. So I built a whole program for him to do with that rack in his situation. The guy was literally filming everything he did and was just sending it to me and wanted to show me how hard he's working. So when he comes back, this guy's eyes are this big and he's popping out of his shirt. And, this guy, I mean, I think he's going to play, and he's going to move some people around. And I think a lot of those old linemen, just their whole mentality has been great. And they've always been fun to work with. And the best part about it is these 6 brand new freshmen we got that just came in. These guys are giants, 6'7", 6'6", big guys, Jonah Monheim and all those guys. They're getting to see these older guys like Voorhees. They're going to see a Lim Douglas and Lim Jimmons, and they got to see Elijah Vera Tucker work. They got to see Jalen McKenzie work and Brett Nillian work. And they're just sitting there going, they're getting to watch some of the best guys I've ever seen work. So that's just setting that foundation for those 6 guys to be great here in the next couple of years.
AA, we had Keaton Slovis on last week, and he was talking to us about ways that he could get better. And he said really in his past he's always relied on his arm strength, and he hasn't used his core enough. What's his off-season program been like to try to get him to be a little bit more durable back there?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely broke off our quarterbacks this year and put them in a little bit more of they're doing a lot of the basic lifting that a lot of our guys do, but I would say about 40% of their routine and then changes. And, they're doing a lot of things, for stabilization, single leg work, balance work. Again, you just mentioned it, core work, mobility work, all those things through shoulders. And I know Graham Harrell, I mean, the stuff he does with Keaton, with a med ball, with a towel, with a baseball, and some of the things that he's really got to come in and hone in and specialize with those quarterbacks has been fun to watch. And it's good to see the things they do post lift and the things they do pre-practice. Some things it's really fun to watch.
All right, that is AA Aaron Ausmus. Hey, AA, we were talking about there's going to be no fans on the strength coaches to get them fired up on the sidelines this year. You guys are going to have to be hot.
Yeah, we're going to have to step up our.
Oh, don't worry about that, Jordan. They'll be all right on the sideline.
I'm not worried. They'll be out there in short sleeves. We'll be in Utah and
4Xs
in the winter, and they'll be out there in the short sleeves, and they'll be fired up and get these guys fired up and ready to go. Thank you, Aaron Ausmus,
Yep.
head strength and conditioning coach for you.
Hey guys, spot on.